Welcome to episode 10 of building this 210 Baycraft hybrid. In this one, we get the name on her. The name is One Life. My wife named two of our boats. This one is One Life. One of the other boats is Change Order. And One Life came to be because right around the time that we were building this boat and thinking about names, my grandmother passed away and her dad passed away. And it really kind of set off, some warning sirens that, hey, you only get one life, live it to its fullest. Both my grandmother and her dad certainly did. And, just a reminder. So, these letters came from domedlettering.com. About the middle of the video, towards the end, I show you the other boat, Change Order, that has these same domed letters, and they're about 4 years old. So you'll get to see how they hold up, which they hold up amazing. And they're really forgiving. I talk about this in a little bit. Again, you can pull them up, move them around. You have to be careful, but it's not like a vinyl decal. They've got some meat to them. I would say they're probably about 3 mils thick, and they've got like a clear coating. They almost look like they're melted in place. They're really, really cool looking. I highly recommend them. Domedlettering.com. No, they didn't sponsor or anything. They just have a great product. So the first thing I did was tape out the original line from the manufacturer's logo. And the reason I did that is it is not exactly aligned with the rub rail. It slightly angles down away from the rub rail the further away you get, or the further forward you get, further away from the transom. And in order to do that, I just ran out some masking tape. I could have got the laser out, but it's not that it's level, it's that it's aligned with the way the boat sits in the water and the angles of the rub rail to the end of the gunnel there, the main chime. I guess that's what you call that part of the boat right there. Anyway, fortunately I was able to just match the manufacturer's angle there. Once you stick these in place, they adhere with pressure. If I did this for a living, I'd have a little roller to roll it out like an ink roller, but using your fingers is good enough. Here in the moment, I'm trying to figure out where to put this Islamorada, Florida hailing port, and it is slightly bigger than the One Life. I didn't really plan this out. I just wanted it smaller. You're kind of at the mercy of scaling when you choose this stuff, and I decided to go ahead and make them try to explain. When you're on the domedlettering.com website, you can actually choose how long you want it to be, or you can choose to maintain the aspect ratio. And when you maintain the aspect ratio, you're at the mercy of how many letters and the height. So this is how it turned out. I didn't really plan out the length. I just wanted it to be, I think these are 5-inch, and the Islamorada is 2.5-inch, which is the smallest you can get. Actually, I take that back. Maybe the Islamorada is 3-inch, and that's the smallest you can get in domed lettering. If you go under that, they can't make it in domed. So anyway, the best way I found to do this is just to peel off the top of the backer and then peel off the front and kind of tack them in place just by pressing on the tops of the letters, because then you can move it a number of times, which you'll see me do here. Here I'm still trying to figure out if I want it here, and I don't even think that I have to, see what I mean? I decided nope. So anyway, once I decided to make it offset like this, the debate was lining up the two I's in the beginning of the word there with that 1 with the N and the E. And depending on where I put it, it looked a little funny. Oh, this was actually crooked. You know, I knew it when I put it on, and they put it crooked on the tape. So you gotta kind of pay attention to this, and you can see here how easy it is to move these around. Once I taped my blue line, I was able to put it back on level. And now that I'm watching this video, I'm realizing that I screwed up the spacing. Later in the video, I'm not going to re-edit it, but I thought that I forgot that this was crooked until just now. And you can see I put it too far to the right. If I had just moved it closer to the F, I wouldn't have had a problem. Later in the video, you'll see me agonizing over this, and I did end up moving the F over, but I had completely forgotten that this was cockeyed. So I actually caused this whole problem. Anyway, once you're satisfied with the positioning, then they just press in place, and it's super simple. The rest of this video is 2 other decals, the registration numbers, and I decided to go ahead and order One Life in their version of this boat color, their version of Seafoam or Aruba Blue, whatever you want to call it. And it's pretty darn close. In fact, if you held it right next to it, it looks pretty good, actually. If you wanted kind of more of a subtle look, I could have gotten away with doing it in that color. I think it probably would have looked really cool. But because the registration numbers in Florida need to be a contrasting color, and I wanted it to all be the same, and I think the white looks really nice, I decided to go with white. But I did order this turquoise color for inside the boat. On the front bulkhead, I went ahead and put One Life in this color. It came out really good, and it brought a little bit of this color into the boat, which I wanted to do anyway. This decal is chrome on the outside. It's an actual mirror. So later in the video, you'll see me pull the camera back, and the one, if you notice this, the one looks darker than the Life. And the reason for that is the mirror is picking up the black fabric in the trailer guide rail cover. So it picks up the color of whatever it's reflecting. A roller would be ideal, but fingers work fine. The only thing I made sure to do was start at the top and work my way out towards the edges, either on the side or the bottom, and I did that to help eliminate any possibility of an air bubble. They're so thick that I've never had a problem with an air bubble. With the other boat or here, if there's air bubbles under there, you can't tell. I went through and just pressure, I'm pushing pretty hard. And then later I went and tried to do the edges. I wouldn't push really hard on the edges until you're 100% sure. And it can even be several hours later. Because once you push really hard around the edges, you're not getting your fingernail or like a razor or anything, you're not getting anything under it to peel it up without denting it or messing up the side. So they are very pressure sensitive, meaning the harder you push, the harder they stick. But super easy. Anybody could do this. After looking at the video, you can see how the space between here and here was too big, and the space between here and here was closer to this space. So these things, this one was not spaced properly on the tape. You can see how this is all even. This is very close. This is closer to that. And this is, so basically what I did, I didn't want to pull the E up again because it's so big. I pulled the F up and I moved it over. And that was about 3 or 4 hours after I had put it down. So it is forgiving. It does move. If I wanted to move over the I probably could. And the other thing I wanted to mention is I ordered the One Life in italic, and I did not for the Islamorada, and I did that on purpose because I wanted there to be a little bit of a contrast, and I really like the way it looks. It kind of highlights One Life as the name. So if you're wondering about that, it is two different font styles. It's called Bliss, so it is the same font, just different style, and of course, smaller size. Anyway, I'm happy with the spacing, even though the I and the L are a little bit close together here because of this gap. You can't really tell, and I don't care. So, well, now that I'm looking at it, maybe I do care. There's just no winning, because if I pull this up, I'm gonna agonize over this. I decided to leave it. It looks fine and nobody's gonna notice unless they're really looking for it, or I point it out, which I probably won't do. Anyway, so when you do any not Hall ID, registration letters, they have to be in the forward portion of the boat, and they have to be in a contrasting color, and in Florida they have to be 3 inches. When you get to this curved part of the hull, you have a choice. You can put them on straight, which I think looks bad, or you can follow the spacing between the deck cap and the hull, or the rub rail and the hull. And in order to do that, the bottom of the tape will be wrinkled, because technically the top of the letters are further apart than the bottom of the letters. So this is it. This is the easiest way to do this, and you get a really good result when you stand back and look at it. It's not this straight line. It appears straight, but it's actually curved. And all you do is position the tops of the letters down, in this case about a 1/4 inch from the gunnel cap. And you can see how the bottom of the tape is all wrinkled like a curtain, and that's because the top is closer than the bottom. And then when you press the letters into place, if you're doing this with vinyl letters, it's way more difficult. But doing it with these thick domed letters, you can just push down on each letter as it hangs, realizing that the tape on the front of the letters is going to be all wrinkly by the time you're done. You'll see what I mean here in a minute. So see that? See all that wrinkle between the 1 and the T? That's because it's not straight up and down. They're all angled, but they appear straight when you step back and look at it. Isn't that cool? This is the teal colored, or teal turquoise, Aruba blue. I actually can't remember what the color was called, but decided to put this here. It came out perfect. Again, you're at the mercy of the scaling, because I wanted it a certain height, and I think what I did here was 4 inches. I didn't want it to be obnoxiously large, but I also wanted it to be slightly higher than lower, so you don't kick it with your flip-flops or your shoes, so people don't kick it. That was my intention anyway. What I did here was set it in place, and then I had to move the I over because I ended up moving it, and in this case the I dot is not connected. On the larger one, the I dot is connected. Just kind of interesting the way it prints out depending on the height. But this looked amazing. You'll get a better view of it in a minute. Here's what to expect after 4 years, I think. It's the same lettering, just different font. This is 4 years old, and it's chrome on the outside, white on the inside, and this is what the boat name looks like. Right here, we did this in black, change order, And it's the same dome lettering. They hold up amazingly well. This one just gets beat on with the sunset every day. And so we went with the same company. I'll put the link in the description, domedlettering.com. They're fantastic. They really work with you. It's the same type of insert as this. This is like a urethane, rubberized feeling. Let's go back up front. I didn't do it on this boat because I didn't even know they existed, but this vinyl has held up amazing. That's an actual photograph. This is acid etched. That looks teal. There we go. As the sun passes over it. There you can see it in the L. And if you look at it head on, oh, there we go. There we go. But at night or head on, it looks black. Or over here. Pretty neat. So the next project is to turn, tripping on the wire. To turn this locker, here's what we need. Through hull, clamps, 5200 drain. We're going to turn that drain that currently drains into the bilge into an overboard drain, because that is what we will fill with ice to keep the enormous fish that we will catch. It'll look just like this. So that one right there, it'll look just like that one, and it'll be right up here, right there, right there. And that way, any stinky fish smell will not go into the bilge. So that'll be the next video. The only thing left is to clean up the wiring in here. I need to edit and post the video of installing the stereo and the GPS, chart plotter, multifunction display, actually. And I think that's it. I think once that's done, we've got some decals for the power poles. These will be wrapped in a tarpon scale decal from a company called Z Decals, I think. Z Decals. So maybe we'll do that in the next video also. We're getting close. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. See you next time.